Alright, so welcome to this, seventh intro that I'm doing right now. I have two bald guys standing side by side next to me. We are in an intense game of Jenga. Well, they
And
just
Tim
lost.
is mopping up, so I'm
Yeah.
about to take care of that.
Yeah. That was, that was Ben. This is Andy. Well, this episode is gonna be a little recap of Comic-Con because I did the Dan Sucks podcast yesterday talking about Comic-Con and how we spent our weekend and what we did and what was the big things and stuff like that. But he's also gonna be in the video anyways, so he might as well be in the intro as well.
I add to the sex appeal.
Yes. This episode is sponsored by ScatteredComics.com and Scattered Comics in general, because they are amazing people. And if you want to know more about Scattered Comics, where do you go, Andy?
What's that?
Empire Comics Vault off of Fulton Avenue in Sacramento.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
You know what
Spoken from a man that has worked with the owner of Scattered Comics, Mr. Jason Doobie. From a artist perspective, how does Scattered Comics stand up?
From an artist perspective,
Yes.
that stands up all right. To be honest, I'm only aware of about a handful of the titles, and all of them are specifically done by Jason himself. Well, at least the writing portion, at least. Overall, he seems to be doing pretty well for himself.
Good people?
Oh yeah, very good people.
Nice. Alright, so this is basically, this episode is gonna be it's gonna be a small little recap of Comic-Con. I'm going to get Andy's opinion on, you've seen some things, right?
Oh, the things I've seen.
Okay, he's seen things. And then we're gonna talk about how we're gonna go see this movie right here, as you can see. Yeah, we're all waiting for other people. So, yeah. So I thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. Please go see Guardians of the Galaxy because it's amazing. And please follow me on Twitter at @short_nerdyguy. And I thank the sponsors for sponsoring Coffee and Comics. And now we get on with the show. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Coffee and Comics. Andy.
What's up?
What are you doing?
I'm just staring at you.
Okay.
Longingly.
Alright. How's it going?
It's going all right.
Cool. How's the writing going?
It's been going pretty well. I finished all the scripts for all the projects I'm currently working on, and now I'm in the sketching phase.
Sketching phase. Is that a good phase to be in right now, or?
It's one of the funnest phases, at least. That's where you do all the drawing.
Right.
After that, you get into the tedious art of inking. Then you move on to coloring, shading, word bubbling. The whole shebang.
Right, and then you go into the computer and do all of that again, or?
I do all my penciling and inking on paper. Then I scan, touch up, color, shade, and word bubble on computer.
So that's the big chunks. Okay, so that's probably the most tedious on the computer and everything, trying to get everything correct and everything, right?
Yep. Thankfully, the digital aspect of it really helps in correcting with mistakes and whatnot. Go back to an earlier save file, hit the undo button. Really, it's a real boon.
All right. Sounds like you have a lot of fun. Yeah, we're here at Empire Comic Books Vault, as we always are on a Thursday. There's an intense game of Jenga going on right now. And
scary intense.
Very intense. I've played, and I almost was going to win.
I think you lost, Jay.
But I did lose. Ben lost to me first, and he lost to this gentleman over here that's playing right now.
Yeah, everybody's lost to him.
Yeah. Andy has lost. Andy was just playing. Yeah.
You're a bit of a loser, Andy.
Yeah. Well, not all the time. We're all just here waiting for Ben to close the store because he's going to close the store a little. And Ben loses again. It's the second time. And I believe Ben just mouthed the word "buck." So But
that was really sad.
we're all here waiting for the store to be closed so we can gather up and go eat and then go see Guardians of the Galaxy at 7 o'clock over at Ethan. And
Food and film.
yes. And then me and some friends are going to the IMAX version of it at 12 o'clock at night. While
Seriously?
yeah.
Right after the others?
Yeah.
All right.
And I have to work in the morning, so that's not a good idea. But it's gonna happen. And it's gonna happen anyway. So, now, this is just gonna be a small little recap of what I saw and what Andy's reaction. I want Andy's reaction of talking about the panels at Comic Con, what I saw at Comic Con, what Andy heard, and all of that, because I did a long, extensive one on the Dan Sucks podcast yesterday. So if you want to hear the extensive version of this, go to TBP Studios and look up the Dan Sucks podcast. It will be the Comic Con version of it. Check it out. It was a great podcast. I had a lot of fun. Awesome. So now, let's get into it. Now, Andy,
What's up?
you've heard about all the panels, right?
I've heard of a number of them at least. Which ones are you thinking about in particular?
Did you hear anything about Marvel?
Only the bare basics.
The Avengers.
Yep. Thanos.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. A little bit about. No, that's really all I heard mostly. What do you have in mind?
Have you heard that Joaquin Phoenix is seriously in the talks of being Doctor Strange?
I can see it.
I think they did like a test costume of him as Doctor Strange. It looks pretty good. Not gonna lie.
There was I think it was just only rumors about the idea of Joseph Gordon-Levitt being Doctor Strange.
Right, and then Jared Leto.
No, I think so. I think it actually has to be somebody who's a bit older, somebody who's a bit more mature. Because the whole concept of Doctor Strange, this is a man who's at least in his late 30s, maybe getting into his 40s. He's a man who's excelled in his field.
Right.
Then he has his tragic accident. Loses his core skill as a surgeon, and that's the beginning of his life.
The beginning of the Doctor Strange.
Exactly.
Nice. All right. Your thoughts on Thanos and your thoughts on the Avengers.
I always kind of had this idea that Thanos was going to be Ron Perlman. Mostly just because of the face.
Oh, okay.
But no, I have no problem with Josh Brolin. It's an interesting choice, and I think he's a great actor, and I like to see what he does with it. I'm just wondering if there's actually going to be any makeup, or if the character of Thanos himself is all going to be CGI.
I'm pretty sure it's going to probably be all CGI. Because Marvel... Excuse me. Ooh, sorry. That was wrong. Yeah. Marvel doesn't really go practical sometimes.
No, it really depends on what works. You
true.
can get a much more accurate version of Thanos if you go more digital.
True. And I think that's what the fans would be looking for. So, but the Marvel panel was pretty awesome. I did not stay in line for that panel because I don't like standing in lines for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I heard lines were a bit of an issue this year.
Yeah, because I think they were run by someone new or something like that, so it kind of seemed like he didn't know what he was doing.
Well, my understanding is that they were trying a new pass system to try and reduce the number of people that cutting in line, because I guess that's been a huge issue with Comic-Cons in the past. But while it cut down on the line cutting, it extended the length of the lines considerably.
Yeah, and there was people saying that they were tweeting photos of just like empty seats, like empty rows of seats in Hall H, and that's never good when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, Comic-Con is great, but I mean, I think part of the problem is it's becoming too big, and it's a hard time to fit in all the people that want to go there.
Right. But I saw the Marvel panel online on YouTube 2 nights ago, right before I went to sleep. So there was no line. There was no me waiting in line. It was a pretty amazing panel because it, had Robert Downey Jr. coming out to Michael Jackson music, and then it just showed, he was tossing roses everywhere, and then it showed everyone come in, and the new people come in as well, and they just talked about, how the experiences have changed them, and James Spader is there, and he was talking about how this is like his first time, and it's pretty, interesting and amazing all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, at least in my experience, James Bader really hasn't been in what you would call the major blockbuster type films. I mean,
Right.
the only thing that comes close in my mind was Stargate, and how long ago was that?
Oh, that was a long, long time ago. Also, now at the end, Robert Downey was saying he said something about like we what was it? He was like we may have someone. Oh, we may Ultron may be the death of us, but we have Thanos. And then Josh Brolin comes out with the gauntlet, the plastic gauntlet that they were selling at Comic Con, just holding it up in the sky, just walking back and forth. And he goes to Robert Downey. He's like, "Where's my rose?" And Robert Downey gives him rose and eats it, and then
I saw that little clip. That was funny.
Panel is done. So Ant-Man was a pretty short panel.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, aside from the test footage, there's not in the poster. There's not too much out about it right now.
Right, but which is good because they're still filming, and I know it's gonna be a great movie because it's I mean, not all Marvel movies make crap ton of money, but it's still gonna be a great movie.
No, I wasn't clear. Does Hank Pym have a role in the Age of Ultron movie? I mean,
No.
obviously from the comic book version, as the creator of Ultron, does that actually translate into the movie version? Do you know?
It might. I haven't heard anything about that.
Well,
But
we'll
if it does, that's gonna be pretty awesome. So, Hank Pym is supposed to be Michael Douglas, right?
Hank Pym is what?
Michael Douglas is playing Hank Pym, right?
I thought Michael Douglas was being played by Paul Rudd, Ant-Man. Or is Paul Rudd playing a different character as Ant-Man?
Isn't Paul Rudd playing a guy that steals the Ant-Man suit?
Well, there was a comic book version who did that, but I'm not sure which is which. I haven't heard anything about Michael Douglas being Hank Pym.
Anyways, if we're talking about the guy that is Ant-Man and he helps invent Ultron, then I'm pretty sure the actor that they're getting for that movie is going to be in this, just like a slight cameo.
Well, we'll see what happens.
So,
apparently Hank Pym was supposed to make a very minor cameo in the first Thor movie, in that deleted scene email.
right.
But they cut that because, it was just a little too...
Soon.
Yeah.
So, and plus, everyone watching this is probably screaming at their computer screen right now and saying what the right name is and getting totally upset with me. That's okay, though, because I'm still tired. Now, what movie are you looking forward to next year?
Okay, let's see, which one is it? It's going to be another Captain America movie, 2016, or is that 17?
That's 16.
I'm looking forward to the Captain America movies. I've really enjoyed the first two so far. I think Chris Evans does an amazing job, and I think the cast that they've built up, with Falcon and everything has been great.
Right.
Let's see, what else is coming out in 2016?
Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man. I'm overall I've never really been that interested in Ant-Man. It's never really been a character that's caught my interest, but I'm as a fresh start, in the form of a movie, I'm curious to see what's going to happen there.
All right. Now, they also did the Dawn of Justice panel. It was a very short panel.
Oh, yeah, I saw the leaked footage for that.
Yeah, because they're still shooting it. But what do you think of Wonder Woman's outfit?
I like it. There's been the jokes made that it's very Xena Warrior-esque,
Right.
which, in my opinion, isn't a problem because Xena was awesome.
And she was also a warrior princess.
Yeah. So you can make the similarities all you want. It only bolsters, it's a cool design.
Right. And to see that footage, that leaked footage, how amazing was that?
That was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, knowing that movie's going to be it looks pretty good so far.
I'm just really curious, what they're going to do plot-wise. I mean, they haven't done anything to get the impression that these two, that Batman in any way was related to Superman when they did Man of Steel. There was no real hints of that, even just, a little glancing mention of like Gotham City or anything like that. So
right.
It feels a little bit out there, but beyond that, I'm still really interested in seeing what they're going to do.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I can't wait for both of them because it's going to be a pretty awesome movie because you have the Dark Knight, Frank Miller Batman, and you have the Man of Steel, Superman, and they're just gonna collide, and they're also putting a lot of other people in this movie too,
Mhm.
like Aquaman, Flash,
Really?
little cameos.
All right then.
So
We'll see how it turns out.
let's hope that those cameos kind of intertwine in the movie very smoothly, and not so just pointing the finger and going, that's the Flash kind of
Well,
thing.
DC does a great job with all their television stuff, both animated and live action. They've been really hit and miss when it comes to their movies. We'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be amazing. Also, there's gonna be a second Godzilla movie
Yes.
with 3 more monsters. One of them being Mothra.
Okay, well, I was kind of iffy about Mothra because that was the only monster I'd heard of. Because whenever it's just Godzilla and Mothra,
Right.
Mothra is automatically the hero character, while Godzilla is the bad guy. So I was kind of iffy about that because I love Godzilla. I like it when he's the guy who's basically kicking everybody's butt.
Right.
But if there's going to be other monsters in there, I'm really curious. I wonder what kind of monsters they'll go with. But yeah, I'd love to see that.
All right. Also, there's gonna be a new King Kong movie called Skull Island.
All right.
Pacific Rim 2.
Never even saw the first one. Still.
You need to see that.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that how awesome would it be to have, Pacific Rim, Godzilla, and all the other monster movies that are coming out. Dracula's coming out too. All those movies coming out and just like intertwining in that monsterish kind of universe.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty awesome.
I'm really looking forward to eventually when they do Jurassic World.
Right.
That's another movie that's going to have Chris Pratt in it. Star-Lord.
Right.
I saw that little teaser footage, which was a funny little thing there. You saw that?
Yeah, that teaser. That was pretty amazing. Now let's go last thing because we're gonna end this pretty fast. Deadpool teaser. Deadpool.
Oh, the leaked Deadpool test footage.
Yes.
That was super kick-ass. I mean, whether they do it live action or in that CGI format, either way is perfectly fine, in my opinion.
All right, but you agree that's a great Deadpool?
Oh, absolutely. That's the one that everybody has been waiting for.
All right. I love how as the car is rolling, he's holding up this picture to the guy that got off the motorcycle, like this is gonna be you, and then does it, and it's Deadpool. It's great. All right, so I thank you, Andy, for helping me out with this video. Sorry that this video is gonna be short today. We are all just gonna wait for some more people, and then we're gonna go get some food. I'm starving. I also probably need to get some caffeine in me because it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. Again, I thank you for watching this show. Subscribe. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at @short_nerdyguy, and also please read more comic books. Thank you.